Hey guys, Procrastination Gaming here, and welcome to the channel. This is going to be my predictions for the 2017 NFL season. This is week 13. We have 15 games this week. Obviously, we missed the Redskins and Cowboys game. That game was last night. I guess the score was 14-38, and I watched the highlights from that game, and it kind of was what I was expected. I actually thought the Redskins were going to win that game because Kirk Cousins has been playing so well, but the offensive line was just not getting it done for the Redskins. And the Redskins could not pull that one out. I thought the Redskins would win that game. 28-20 was going to be my score, and a lot of that had to do with Kirk Cousins and the way he's been playing over the last few weeks. He's been one of the top quarterbacks in the league this year, and I think it'll be interesting to see what kind of payday he's going to get when it's time for him to get paid. I kind of think it's going to be higher than most people expect. I know they're expecting him to get somewhere about 25 to 30 million a year, but I think it's going to be even more than that. If you consider he could go to any team he wants, I think if he goes to the highest bidder, I think he might get more like 35 to 40 million dollars a year. So it will be interesting to see. He is definitely proving himself as a franchise quarterback right now, and I don't think the Redskins are going to be able to keep him. And for the next game here, we have Vikings at Falcons. This is going to be a very close game, I think. I think both of the teams are legit. I think the Vikings are very good. They should be able to stop the run, and I think that's probably how they're going to be able to win this game. They're going to make the Falcons throw the ball a lot, and I think the Falcons might throw a couple interceptions this game, and I think that's probably how they're going to pull this one out. I think the Vikings will win this game. 28-23 is going to be my score. And I think the Falcons on offense could move the ball, but I think if they try to pass the ball too much, that Vikings secondary is pretty dang good, and their pass rush is very good as well. So I think with that defense, they should be able to win this game. 28-23, Vikings right now looking to go 10-2, and they're going to definitely be in first place, the NFC North. Now for the next game here, we have Texans at Titans. I am taking the Titans in this one. My score is going to be 23-17. And this year, the Titans have not been very good, but the Texans right now, I don't think they're going to be able to win this game just because of what they have going on in offense. Without Deshaun Watson, they have not really looked very good. Even though the Titans aren't very good, I think they should be able to run the ball and get a couple scores that way. Marcus Mariota this year has not been good with his decision making. I think he's been actually one of the worst quarterbacks in the league this year. In terms of decision making, I think it's between him and probably Deshaun Kaiser. So I don't know what the Titans are going to do this next year in the draft, but there's a lot of pretty good quarterbacks coming out this next draft. And I would not be surprised if the Titans trade back in the first round to get a quarterback, or trade up in the second round to get a quarterback, because Marcus Mariota is not playing like a franchise quarterback right now, and the Titans are not going to be winning playoff games without one. Then for the Chiefs at Jets, I'm taking the Chiefs in this game. My score is going to be 27-21. I think the Jets should be able to move the ball. They have been passing the ball a lot better recently. I think the Jets should probably draft a quarterback this coming draft, probably really high, and not play him, because Josh McCown has been playing very well, and it's a lot better to have a good quarterback sitting on the sideline for a couple years to get some experience under his belt. But yeah, I think the Chiefs could definitely win this game. 27-21 would be my score. I think the Chiefs have to get back to running the ball with Kareem Hunt, and I think they should have no problem winning this game. But I think if they don't do that, they might actually lose this game, because the Chiefs have not been very good recently. They started off the season very hot, and then they just kind of collapsed. I think they might have been 6-0 when they started the season, or maybe 5-1. Right now they're sitting at 6-5, so they've lost quite a few games in a row. And if you're a Chiefs fan, you're probably frustrated with this team. A lot of times they have got really hot like this in the past few years. There's a few times they've won 10 out of 11 games and then just kind of fell off, or 6 out of 7 and then fell off. They've done this a few times in the last few years, and if you're a Chiefs fan, you'd probably be frustrated. Then for the next game here, we have Broncos at Dolphins. I am taking the Dolphins in this one, 14-13. I think both of these teams are pretty bad, especially on offense, but I think with the Broncos missing Aqib Talib this week, they should be able to lose this game. Missing Aqib Talib is going to be very big for them. The Dolphins have a lot of good receivers, and if they could get just a couple big plays this game, they should win this game. But I think this game will be kind of close. I know the Broncos are going to be starting Paxton Lynch this week. Paxton Lynch hasn't been very good even when he's been on the field. He has played a couple games over the past few years, and he does not look like a legit quarterback to me. But if I was the Broncos, I would probably play Paxton Lynch for the rest of the season just to see what you got in him, because there's 4 or 5 legit quarterbacks coming out this year, and the Broncos really have to know what they have in Paxton Lynch before they go out and draft another quarterback. Then for the next game here, we have Colts at Jaguars. I'm definitely taking the Jaguars in this one. 21-9 is going to be my score. I don't think the Colts score a touchdown in this game. Their offense has been really bad recently. Most of the season they have been very bad. They've had a couple close games, but I don't think against the Jaguars, I don't think it's going to be close at all. I think a lot of that has to do with the Jaguars on defense. Their front seven is going to be able to get to, I think Jacoby Brissett is going to be playing this week, but I don't think he's going to be able to do much. The Jaguars defense is just too good right now. And yeah, I don't think the Colts are going to be able to do anything against the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars will win this game 21-9. And then we have the Lions at Ravens. Obviously, I'm a huge Lions fan. I really think the Lions have to win this game to make the playoffs. Well, I actually thought the Lions had to win last week to make the playoffs because I didn't think the Lions would make the playoffs without winning the division. I still don't think the Lions are going to make the playoffs because we have to win out to make the playoffs now. And before the Vikings game, I knew the Lions would have to win 5 games in a row if they lost that game to make the playoffs. So yeah, the Lions really have to win this game, but that doesn't change the fact that I don't think Stafford has won a road game against a team with a winning record in his career yet. So obviously the Ravens have a winning record. I'm taking the Ravens this one. It's going to be 21-14. I don't think the Lions are going to win the 5 games in a row, and I think the Ravens game is probably the most likely game for them to lose. But I do think they will lose this game just because the Ravens defense is too good, especially the pass rush. So they're going to be able to get to Stafford. Stafford's probably going to throw at least 1 interception against a team like this. Recently, Stafford has been playing a lot better on the road, even against good teams, but that doesn't change the fact that the rest of the team doesn't play very well on the road, especially the receivers. They've been dropping a lot of passes. Not just Eric Ebron, other receivers drop passes a lot on the road as well. But yeah, I think the Ravens will probably win this game 21-14, something like that. And then for the next game here, we have Patriots at Bills. This is a pretty important game for the Bills. If the Bills can win this game, they'll probably be in the wild card spot. Just looking at the rest of the AFC, it's kind of a logjam. There's a lot of 6-5 teams and a lot of 5-6 teams, and there's not a lot of games remaining. So if the Bills win this game, they could definitely get closer to securing a wild card spot. I think they're starting Tyrod Taylor now after benching him, and then Nathan Peterman threw 5 picks, and then they went back to Tyrod Taylor, and then they were like, well, we're not sure if he's actually going to be a starter going forward, but he's going to start this game. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But I do think the Patriots are going to win this game. My score is going to be 34-17. The Patriots have been very good recently. They've been able to throw the ball a lot. Their running backs have been playing very well as well, especially Dion Lewis, Rex Burkhead, and James White have all been playing very good this year. They've been making a lot of plays in the passing game, and I think the Patriots could definitely win this game by a lot of points, but I think it'll be a little bit closer, especially in the first half, and the Patriots just kind of pull away in the second half. 34-17 will be my score. And then for the next game, we have 49ers at Bears. These two teams are kind of battling for a top 5 pick right now, and I'm going to take the Bears in this one, 14-23. I think the 49ers should be able to score some points this game because it looks like they're going to be finally starting Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm not sure if that's going to be good going forward. I don't think he's a franchise quarterback yet. He's played a couple of games for the Patriots, and then he played I think half a game for the 49ers, and he looked decent, but you can never judge a quarterback in the NFL just off a couple games. So I'm definitely taking the Bears in this one. 14-23 will be my score in that one. I think at home they should be able to pull this out. Jordan Howard should have a decent game, and as long as Mitchell Trubisky doesn't make too many mistakes, they should have no problem winning this game. And then after that game, we have the Browns at Chargers. I'm definitely taking the Chargers in this one, 31-20, and I do have the Browns scoring 20 points in this game, which might surprise some people, but if you're a true fan of the NFL, you might know that Josh Gordon is going to be returning this week, and he's going to start this game. I'm not sure exactly what to expect, but a few years ago, Josh Gordon was maybe the best receiver in the NFL, including Calvin Johnson. So Josh Gordon could definitely be good for them going forward. Josh Gordon's one of those guys who has all the talent in the world, but he's never been able to stay on the field because of complications with legal issues, mostly drugs and stuff like that. But that doesn't change the fact that Josh Gordon is extremely talented. And from everything I've heard, Josh Gordon is still very fast, and he can definitely play receiver in this league. I have no doubt in that. He's definitely going to be an elite receiver going forward. I think he's gonna have a turnaround. I hope he can stay on the field for them. I hope he can turn his life around. because it's a lot more important than football, but he could definitely be a very good football player going forward if he can figure that out. But overall, the Chargers are very good right now, especially the last few weeks. Philip Rivers has been playing very well. I said earlier in the season, if you can give Philip Rivers a little bit of time, that he can be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And I do believe he is one of the best quarterbacks in the league when he has time. And it looks like he's having a lot more time in the pocket now. His defense is playing very well as well, and he's having a lot more possessions per game. They're going to have a lot more time with the ball, so they're going to be scoring more points. I have the Chargers obviously winning this game 31-20. And then for the next game here, we have Giants at Raiders. I actually taking the Giants in this game. I'm going to say 17-13. And the main reason I'm picking the Giants in this game is because the Raiders are playing without their top two receivers this game. And I think that's pretty important for the Raiders. They have not been playing very well recently running the ball. They have not been able to run the ball against pretty much any team. And I think going forward, it's going to be pretty hard to throw the ball with that top two receivers gone. Amari Cooper is not going to be playing this week, as well as Michael Crabtree, who got suspended for 2 more weeks. That's probably going to cost the Raiders a wild card spot if I had to guess. I think if the Raiders had won 3 of the next 5 games or so, they might have actually gotten the wild card spot. But because they have Michael Crabtree missing now, I don't think they're going to be winning any games without those 2 receivers. Without those 2 guys, their offense is going to be a shell of itself, and they're not going to score many points. So I have the Giants actually winning this game. Even though the Giants are 2-9, they're really bad. They're not even going to be where they're... Eli Manning's not going to play this week. It's going to be their backup. I don't even know who that is, but I think the Giants should be able to win this game. And then for the next game here, we have the Panthers at Saints. This is probably going to be the best game of the week. Should be a very fun game to watch with Cam Newton and that Saints defense. It's going to be very fun to watch that game. I think the Saints are going to win this game. I'm not quite sure. I'm definitely going to pick the Saints, though. My score in this game is going to be the Saints winning 31-21, and I think that has to do with the Saints moving the ball on offense. We've seen the Saints defense play well, but we have never seen the Saints offense not play well this year. The Saints have been putting up points every game. And I think that's how they're going to win this game, is they're going to just be a little more efficient offense. Drew Brees isn't going to make mistakes, and they're not going to have any turnovers or anything like that. And I think the Saints could run the ball effectively in this game. I don't think they'll pop 150 yards, but I think they will be able to run the ball. So I do think I'll pick the Saints in this one, 31-21. I think Cam Newton will struggle to throw the ball down the field. I think the Panthers will be able to run the ball in this game, but I don't think they'll be able to pass the ball for more than maybe 250 yards or so. I think if the Panthers win this game, Cam Newton has to run for a lot of yards probably, and that's the only way they probably win this game. But yeah, I'm taking the Saints 31-21. And then for the next game here, we have Rams at Cardinals. I'm definitely taking the Rams in this one, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I'm saying 24-12. Now, it could be a blowout, but usually with these games in this division, they're a lot closer than they should be. So I'm definitely taking the Rams, but I'm only going to say 24-12 this game. I think the Cardinals don't score a touchdown. 4 field goals they're going to have. They might be able to move the ball between the numbers, but there's no way they're going to punch it in against this Ram defense, I think. But yeah, I'm taking the Rams 24-12. And then for the next game here, we have Eagles at Seahawks. I'm taking the Eagles in this game. I think this will be a very high-scoring game, and it'll be pretty entertaining, especially with the Eagles' offense. I think they'll be able to score quite a few points. I think it'll be something like 35-28. I'm taking the Eagles in this one. And I think the main reason I'm taking the Eagles is because without Richard Sherman, I don't think the Seahawks are going to be able to stop that passing attack from the Eagles. I don't think they're going to be able to stop that passing attack, and I think that's going to have the Eagles scoring a lot more points than they would. But I also think the Eagles won't be able to stop Russell Wilson throwing the ball. Russell Wilson can definitely extend plays like no other quarterback in the NFL, and he's very accurate on the run. So I do think the Seahawks will have a few more big plays this game than the Eagles have usually allowed, especially through the passing game. I don't think the Seahawks would be able to run the ball. They probably shouldn't even try to run the ball, honestly. I think they should just let Russell Wilson do what he does, spin around in the backfield and just throw the ball 40 yards downfield to whoever. And yeah, I have the Eagles winning this game 35-28. And then for the next game here, we have Steelers at Bengals. Now, if the Bengals can win this game, they might be able to get a wild card spot going forward, but I don't think they'll win this game. My score for this game is going to be 20-17. Now, obviously, that means I don't have a whole lot of faith in the Steelers, but the reason I don't have a whole lot of faith in the Steelers this game is because Big Ben doesn't play well on the road a whole lot. But I do think they'll win this game, and I think it'll just be because Antonio Brown makes a play in the fourth quarter to pull away. That's happened a few times this year, and I think it'll happen again in this divisional matchup. It's very likely to happen in this kind of game. I think the Steelers will win this game 20-17, and that's going to be my predictions for Week 13 of the NFL season. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.